Something big may be happening with Heartland Season 20, and fans have every reason to pay attention. After years of emotional stories, family changes, new challenges, and unforgettable moments at the ranch, the future of Heartland is once again becoming a major topic among viewers. But this time, the biggest question is not just whether Season 20 will happen. It is what this next chapter could actually look like. There are new questions surrounding the show, its characters, and the direction of the story, and some of the latest information has fans looking closely at every detail. So, what do we really know about Heartland Season 20, and what should fans believe? Let's break down the big update and why it could matter more than you think. For Heartland fans, every update about a new season feels important because this is not just another television show. Heartland has built a huge audience by focusing on family, horses, love, loss, and the simple moments that make life at the ranch feel real. That is why the idea of another season has created so much excitement. Fans are already asking what could happen next, which characters could return, and whether the story will continue in the same direction or enter a completely new chapter. The biggest thing to understand right now is the difference between official information and online rumors. When a new Heartland season becomes a major topic online, many fan theories quickly spread across social media and video platforms. Some theories sound convincing, but that does not mean they are confirmed. A supposed trailer, release date, character return, or shocking storyline can easily be based on fan-made material rather than an official announcement. That is why fans need to look carefully at where the information comes from. At the same time, the excitement surrounding Season 20 tells us something important. Viewers are still deeply connected to the Heartland family, and they clearly want to know where these characters go next. Amy remains at the center of that interest because her journey has changed so much over the years. Her connection with horses, her family, and the ranch continues to shape the heart of the series. A new season would give the writers plenty of room to explore another stage of her life, and this is where things become even more interesting. If Heartland moves forward with another season, the story cannot simply repeat everything we have already seen. The characters have grown, relationships have changed, and the ranch itself has faced many challenges. Season 20 would need to bring something fresh while still keeping the emotional feeling that made fans fall in love with Heartland in the first place. While fans wait for more official details, one thing is already clear. The next chapter has the potential to be very different from what came before. And if the latest discussions are pointing in the right direction, Amy and the Heartland Ranch could be at the center of some very emotional changes. Amy Fleming has never been the kind of person who simply walks away when life becomes difficult. She has faced heartbreak, family problems, difficult horses, and moments when she had no idea what the future would bring. But Season 20 could put Amy in a position where she has to make a choice that is bigger than anything she has faced before. The real question is not only what happens to Amy next, but whether she is ready to leave behind the version of her life she has known for so long, for years. Amy's greatest strength has been her connection with horses. She can understand what they need when other people cannot. That special gift has helped countless horses and has also helped Amy heal from some of the hardest moments in her own life. But as her family grows and the ranch continues to change, her work may become more difficult to balance with everything happening around her. This could create one of the most interesting storylines for Season 20. Amy may have to decide how much of her future belongs at Heartland, and how much belongs somewhere beyond the ranch. That does not mean she would simply leave her family behind. In fact, the opposite could happen. A new opportunity could force Amy to look at the ranch, her career, and her personal life in a completely different way. And then there is the emotional side of her story. Amy has spent so much time helping other people deal with their problems that she sometimes puts her own feelings second. A new season could give her the chance to finally focus on what she wants. What kind of life does Amy really want? What does happiness look like for her now? And can she build that future without losing the connection she has with the people and place she loves? Her relationship with the Heartland family will also remain important. Lou, Tim, Jack, Katie, and the rest of the family have all gone through major changes, and those changes can affect Amy in ways she cannot ignore. The ranch is more than a place where she works. It is part of her identity. Any major change there would also force Amy to rethink her own future. That is why Amy could become one of the most important pieces of season 20. Her next chapter does not have to depend on one shocking event. Sometimes the biggest drama comes from a character simply realizing that life is changing and refusing to stay stuck in the past. And if season 20 really is about the next stage of Amy's life, then fans may be about to see a side of her that has been waiting to come out for a very long time. The biggest change may not happen to Amy. It may come from a decision Amy finally chooses to make. There is one place that has always held the Heartland family together, even when everything else was falling apart. The ranch. It has survived heartbreak, money problems, family fights, broken relationships, and changes that once seemed impossible to overcome. But season 20 could bring a different kind of challenge, one that cannot be solved simply by working harder or waiting for time to heal the pain. This time, the question could be much bigger. What happens when the very future of the ranch begins to change? Heartland Ranch is not just a home. Every corner of it carries a memory. It is where Amy discovered who she truly was. It is where Jack spent years protecting his family and holding everyone together. It is where Lou, Tim, and the rest of the family have made difficult choices. That is why even the smallest change to the ranch can quickly become a huge emotional moment for the entire family. Season 20 could place the ranch at the center of a new problem. The family may face a decision that divides them, with everyone believing they are doing what is best. One person may want to protect the old Heartland, while another may believe the ranch needs to change in order to survive. And that kind of conflict could be far more powerful than an outside enemy, because this time, the people fighting may be members of the same family. Amy could find herself caught in the middle. She understands how important the ranch is, but she also knows that nothing stays the same forever. Jack may want to protect everything that Heartland has always stood for, while Luke could look at the future in a more practical way. Tim, as always, could have his own strong opinion, making an already difficult situation even more complicated. But the real drama may come from what the family is willing to sacrifice. If saving the ranch means changing it forever, would they agree? If protecting the family means someone has to leave, could they accept that? These are the kinds of questions that could give season 20 its strongest emotional story. The most interesting part is that the ranch has always represented hope. No matter how bad things became, there was always a feeling that the family could return home and find a way forward. But what happens when home itself is changing? What happens when the place that has always been the answer suddenly becomes part of the problem? That could be the heart of season 20. Not a simple fight to save Heartland Ranch, but a fight to decide what Heartland should become next. And if the family cannot agree, the biggest threat may not come from outside the ranch at all. It could come from the painful truth that even the closest family cannot stay together forever without change. Just when the Heartland family thinks they understand what the future looks like, one unexpected return could change everything. Season 20 may not only be about moving forward. It could also be about the past coming back at the exact moment nobody is ready for it. A familiar face, an old connection, or someone who has been missing from the ranch for a long time could suddenly walk back into the story and bring new emotions with them. That is one of the biggest reasons fans are so interested in the future of Heartland. Over the years, many characters have come and gone, but their connection to the family has never truly disappeared. Some left to begin a new life. Others followed their own dreams. And some relationships changed so much that fans still wonder if those characters could ever return. Season 20 could open the door for one of those surprises. Georgie is one name that many fans continue to talk about. Her journey took her far beyond the ranch, but Heartland will always be part of who she is. A return from Georgie could bring happiness, but it could also bring new problems. She is no longer the same young girl who first arrived at Heartland. She has grown, changed, and built a life of her own. If she returned, she might not simply come back to visit. She could arrive with a major decision, a personal struggle, or news that nobody in the family expected. But Georgie is only one possibility. Season 20 could also surprise fans with another familiar face connected to Amy, Lou, Jack, or the ranch itself. The most powerful returns are not always about shocking the audience for a few minutes. Sometimes one person walking through the door can bring back old memories, unfinished feelings, and questions that the family believed were already answered. Imagine the ranch preparing for an ordinary day when someone unexpected suddenly arrives. At first, it feels like a happy reunion. Then the reason behind the visit slowly becomes clear. Maybe that person needs help. Maybe they have come to make a difficult announcement. Or maybe their return is connected to a secret that could affect the future of the entire family. This is where season 20 could become especially emotional. A returning character could force Amy to face part of her past that she thought she had already left behind. Lou could find herself dealing with an old family issue. Jack could be reminded that time changes everyone. Even the people he once thought would always stay close to the ranch, of course. Until official announcements confirm any casting or character details, fans should be careful not to treat online rumors as facts. But that does not make the possibilities any less exciting. Heartland has always known how to bring characters back in ways that feel personal and meaningful. And if season 20 has one major surprise waiting in the shadows, it could be a return nobody sees coming. Because sometimes the biggest change in the future begins when someone from the past finally comes home. When we look at everything surrounding Heartland season 20, one thing becomes clear. The next chapter could be about much more than simply continuing the story. It could be about change. Big change. The kind of change that affects Amy, the family, the ranch, and everything fans have loved about Heartland from the beginning. Amy's future could take her in a new direction. The ranch could face a challenge that forces the family to make difficult choices. A familiar face could return with news that changes everything. And the people who have always found a way to stand together could suddenly discover that they do not all want the same future anymore. That is what could make season 20 so important. Heartland has always been a story about finding your way back home, even after life takes you somewhere unexpected. But what if the next chapter asks a much harder question? What if home itself is changing, and the people who love it have to decide whether to hold on to the past or take a risk on something new? For Amy, this could be one of the biggest moments of her journey. She has spent years growing stronger after every challenge life placed in front of her. She has learned how to move forward without forgetting the people and memories that shaped her. But season 20 could ask her to make a choice that no one else can make for her. She may have to decide what she truly wants, even if that decision surprises the people closest to her. And then there is the Heartland family. No matter how many times they argue, they always find a way to come back together. Jack has always been the steady center of the family. Lou has always fought for what she believes is right. Tim has never been afraid to speak his mind. And Amy has often carried the emotional heart of the ranch. But as the future changes, even the strongest family can face moments when love alone does not make the decision easy. This is why fans should pay close attention to future official news about season 20. Rumors and fan-made stories can be exciting, but the real announcements will tell us where the next chapter is truly heading. Until then, the biggest questions remain open. Who will return? What major change is coming for Amy? Can the ranch continue as the family knows it? And could one unexpected event change everything before anyone has time to prepare? One thing is certain. Heartland has survived because it knows how to make every new chapter feel personal. The next season has a chance to bring fresh stories while keeping the family, love, horses, and ranch life that fans never want to lose. So, if a major season 20 announcement is coming, fans may want to be ready, because the next update could reveal far more than a release date or a new season. It could reveal the beginning of a whole new era for Heartland. And the biggest question is still waiting for an answer. When the doors of Heartland Ranch open for the next chapter, who will still be standing there, and whose life will never be the same again?